Hi everyone, if you're watching a recording, we're going to fast forward 2 minutes. We'll get started here, just about there. Oh, I see. Funny how even though we're doing this for 69 weeks, I still find buttons I never noticed before. Whoops. Okay. Oh, what is today? Today is Gail's project. We are going to finish this today. Absolutely. So just grabbing a few last minute things here. Get it going. All right, one more minute and we'll get started. So where are you guys going out to dinner tonight? Okay. Looks like Twitch is up and running. Looks like Facebook is up and running. Oh, YouTube is also up and running. This is good. All right, we're going to start here in just a few more seconds. I'm going to get this last thing in. All right, let's get boogieing. Andy's all set to go. I think I'm all set to go. Why do I have this thing flashing in front of me? Check that out. Okay, who knows? It's a secondary computer. I suppose it's not that important that I figure out what's going on there. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so today is Wednesday, July 17th. It's week 69. Today is UFO Wednesday, where I have been asking viewers to send in their projects so that I can, their unfinished objects, so that I can help it along. So some of these projects have been because of tools, that they didn't have the proper tools to get it finished. Some of them were just design challenges, and then some of them were just sort of, shall we say, the solder gods weren't too kind to them. So what we're working on today will be the third round of working on this, and I think we're going to have it done today. But this was Gail's project, and it is a complete redo. So we actually deconstructed the piece because it was reticulated and there were pieces that just weren't really helpful, and decided to reimagine the piece using most of the material that we started off with. So what I did add to it, so it did have the backing was already there. There was another sheet on top, which we removed because it was too reticulated. And then there was already these tube settings, 1, 2, 3. What it didn't have was the bail, which is on the back. We decided on a square bail and then a square tube bail. And then we also added all of these granules, which I have been struggling for the last 2 weeks to solder on. Oh my gosh. So it is what it is, but I did do some work since last week. So when we was it last week? It's been 2 weeks since I worked on this, because last week I was at the Peninsula School of Art. And let's back out just a little bit. So there was a bye week. And in any case, so when we left off last on this project, I had soldered all of the granules on. Some were falling off, and then I liver sulfured it. Well, you know what happens to projects sometimes is when they sit on your bench for a little while and you've been looking at it, you sort of change your mind. So I completely changed my mind on the liver sulfur and decided that I really didn't care for it. In fact, actually, I sort of screwed that up. What did I do? Okay, so speaking of liver sulfur, I was supposed to grab some black max. I'll have to go do that. But in any case, okay, so that said, back to the point here. So the other thing I did, so I have cleaned it up and sort of, I didn't start over, but I made some adjustments. So what has changed since we were here last was that I've added some more of these teeny weeny little granules. I mean, these things are like 2 millimeters, because I was really bothered by the voids that were in there. So I wanted to get some more granules just to fill in some of the voids and to give it, I don't know what the word is. I don't know what I gave it, but I just filled it in. So because I think it looks better that way. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up you know, those 3 little dark granules are actually bronze. So we're going to clean it up because they don't look like bronze right now. And then we're going to, again, oxidize this. But since I forgot, that's the thing, I went upstairs to grab it and totally forgot to grab it. So hold on for 1 second. I am going to grab my, I'm going to grab some Black Max. Hold on. Okay, so we're back. So Black Max is a product that is put out by Rio Grande. When I go to blacken, to blacken silver, or oxidized silver, I really like to use Black Max because it's a very intense color as opposed to a liver sulfur, or I've tested several other patinas, and for me, this is the most intense color and this is what I really want. So I'm going to go ahead and oxidize this. It comes in a bottle like this, and apparently back in the day when I first started using this, shipping it was really expensive because it incurred a hazardous material fee. But it looks like today that has changed for some reason. They probably downgraded the acid in it, and it's no longer considered hazardous. So maybe that's why it's a lot less expensive than it was, when I was doing this before. So you can definitely order it from Rio Grande. July. Oh, did I say July 17th? Today is July 14th. So, what is July? Oh, but what is July 17th? Let's see. July 7th. Yes. But if you're asking about the fidget ring, July 17th. Yes, July 17th is the fidget ring at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll send out the Zoom links for those of you who have registered for this. So what's sort of nice about this is notice how it's immediately oxidizing, and I am just applying it with a teeny weeny little brush because I don't want to do a ton of cleanup, but mostly I don't want the Black Max to go inside of my tubes. And that was part of the reason why I cleaned it up. Last time we had dunked this entire piece into liver sulfur, and it was just going to be a hot mess to try to clean it up on the inside. So I've decided to do it this way to control where the blackening agent is going. Okay. You may. So Andy was asking me if he can post a VEC link. Well, VEC is officially up, by the way, just to let you guys know. It is officially up. Registration is open. I would caution you to wait just a hot minute. If you see any mistakes on there, please, please, please reach out to me and let me know. But there will be a coupon coming here. I was just sort of giving it a soft opening, we'll say, to make sure we worked out all the kinks. But I think they're pretty much out. I had a few editors on it, and it looks pretty clean. So, but if you do find a mistake, let me know, and we'll go from there. Okay, you can take a look at all the classes, all the great classes. I believe a comment I got from someone recently was that we're trying to bankrupt y'all with great classes. Haha. Okay, so here I'm just looking for spaces that might need a little bit of patina just to make sure it's nice and consistent. There we are. Okay, so when you are blackening something like this with an acid, you must wash it off because you need to neutralize it. Okay, so I have clean water behind me. Hold on. Okay, lots of water. Water is a great neutralizer. Okay, so now I'm going to hit this with a brass brush and see where it goes. So we're going to focus a lot today on cleaning this and getting your pieces up to the brightness that you want. And then we're going to set the stones. So I want to clean this up before I set my stones. See, it is coming up really, really nicely. So you can see how white it is here with the white oxide and how shiny it is there. So this is just a preliminary cleanup for me before I really hit it with something much more aggressive than this. I just want to see where it's going. Yeah, it's coming nicely. All right. Another thing I like to keep on my desk, on my workbench when I'm working is an old toothbrush. Did I ever tell you that story? Back in the day when I had a store, I always kept a toothbrush in the bathroom where our sink was for projects like these, and it looks like this, like really gross and dirty. And so one time during a class, oh my God, it was so crazy. So one time during a class, what happens is at the end of the class, you say, okay, well, there's a toothbrush sitting on the sink, and there's some Dawn liquid soap in there. Do go in there and clean off your piece and your hands with the toothbrush. And someone goes, oh, wow, that's great, because I thought that was your personal toothbrush. Yes, my personal toothbrush looks like this. Oy, oy, oy. But she was like, oh, so glad to hear it's not your personal toothbrush that's so black. Yeeks. And really, who is crazy enough to leave their personal toothbrush on a public bathroom counter? Ugh. Anyway, that's welcome to my world, right? So as you can see here, the brass is starting to clean up already. I don't have to do too much to get it there. But I want to clean off all the debris and any, sludge. So Gail's watching. This is her piece, and I'm glad you're liking it. Okay, so this is actually, I'm not going to use this one first. I'm going to use this one. I was going to use this end brush, but I'm going to switch over to one of these brushes. It's a brass brush, and I'm going to put it onto my flex shaft. And it's going to be a little bit more aggressive, and it's going to get into these tight little spots. And I want to see what I can get cleaned up with just the brushes first. Okay. A lot of people use a brush as a first step to polishing, which is great. So I'm just going to hit everything. So you can see it's already getting shiny just with the brush. Yes, there's a little bit of solder there. I'm going to come back and hit that up and clean that. Okay. Just hit everything. I think this back, it's a little reticulated. I'll debate on whether or not I actually want to sand it, or I can leave it for Gail to finish. But here, I'm going to hit this pretty hard with this brass brush and see what all I can clean up. There we go. So this is nice. It's getting into a lot of the corners and the crevices. It's not going to go inside the tubes. There's no chance that this is going to happen. So I think I'll end up switching out again back to that end brush to get inside. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, it's really coming together. I can do this all day, just sitting here playing. Okay, a little bit more until I get it to where I want it to be. I mean, finishing is can be a very long process. You'll be much more satisfied with your piece if you give it the time that it needs to look great. I was working at the Peninsula School of Art last week, and I don't know why, but the classes were okay. I don't know why. If you're ready for this one, I don't know why, but the classes were going really well. Actually, I don't know why that I had a lot of free time during the classes. Partly because the classes were going so well that I was doing a lot of sitting around while people were working. And, you know, I just took the time out on my sample pieces, which I normally don't do. And I did a lot of finishing. And it's so nice to be able to have that time to do finishing work. And you sort of got to give it to yourself, you know. But I was so loving my pieces once they were all said and done. So you see how I did that? I just stuck my end brush in there because I could, and it fit. It didn't really, I can't say it really fits the two smaller ones. We have a 5, 4, and 3 millimeter setting here. But it's getting there. It's getting there. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this up a little bit so you can see. There's a few more spots that I'm not digging, and I just want to get it just a little bit nicer. So how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to show you. Let's see. So this is a silicone bullet, I guess you could say. I think they're called bullets, but it's a wheel of sorts. It's a polishing wheel of sorts. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this tip smaller because I've been using it. It is not as refined as I like it, and I'm just going to run it. I know you should take an old file and do this on it, or else you're going to eat up your file. But I'm just choosing a little corner. And notice I'm running it on the end, and that's going to sharpen that end up for me. Like so. Okay. And you probably can't see this in the camera, but I have a little bit of cleanup on some of these granules. I just want it to look a little bit nicer. So I'm just going to use this silicone abrasive to get that nice and smooth. Getting there. Okay. So I keep sharpening that up because I want to get into these tight little spots in here. And I'm using a fairly coarse one because I want it to go a little bit quicker because I do have a decent amount of material to clean up. I'm going to clean this up here too. So I didn't care for how the sides were looking. You can sand it, of course, but hey, when you've got a tool. Okay, so you see, be careful. There's the screw coming out of it. Let's not create more problems than we are started with. So I'm just going to screw it up, unscrew it, and use it some more. There's a piece of solder here. We're just going to sand that off. Taking too long, so I'm going to move to a finer file. I'm going to file it and then sand it. A little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to get it as close as I can before going back to the sanding. Oof. So these little bits of solder, it just takes sanding to get it down. And you know what? I'm gonna bring in a disc here in a second. It's close. There we go. Done deal. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna hit this some more. I just want it really nice and smooth. Again, you know, finishing is, like I said, it just takes time. And it's about what the willingness to do it. I got a really rough edge over here. Okay, so let's be honest. I'm sitting here praying that none of my granules fall off. Because, you know, that's sort of what they do. Glassboro. Hello from Glassboro. I see that. Glassboro. Are we in the U.S.? Which Glassboro are we talking about? Andy says, where am I seeing that? On my chat? Somewhere on Facebook, someone says. Sorry, honey? Okay. So we're just finishing. Always stroking it to make sure it feels good. Like it's nice and smooth now. Ah, New Jersey. Got it. I don't know why I was thinking Ireland. Okay. This one is driving me crazy. This one granule. I just want you to clean up just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so clean this puppy up. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of polish just to give it a little tiny bit more oomph, because that's the kind of girl I am. And to do that, you can put this on a buffing wheel, of course, you know, if you have one of those big buffers, but I don't. So we're gonna put it right here with a muslin wheel. And we'll use some Euroluster. By the way, all this stuff can be found on the urbanbeater.com if you don't already have it. So here we're just going to embed a little bit of polish. It's a piece of Euroluster is what it is. And I'm gonna hit this stuff, get it really nice and shiny. Oh yeah. And the brass came up nicely. It polished up just fine. I don't know if you could see that there. It's really hard to see on camera. Lighting's not perfect. Doing what I can to get into all the little crevices. You see how I'm doing that? I'm like working from the bottom of the buffing wheel too. So sometimes you have to do that. It's not always just from the top or from the side. It's from wherever you need to make it happen. And you got to be careful if you're working from the top. There is a metal piece up here. So if it's worn down, that metal piece will do some damage, so be careful of that. Okay, it's nice and shiny now. Cool. I think that's it. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to hit this too. Every so often embed a little bit of polish. You need to be a bit aggressive to get this to polish up. However, you cannot be so aggressive that you make it hot and the wax will melt to and bind to your muslin wheel and then make it hard, and then it renders it useless. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my bowl of water. Let's go out here. And my toothbrush. And a towel. Now, typically I would do this under a sink. Just saying. This is, I know it's in a Palmolive bottle, but it's actually Dawn liquid soap. And apparently it does matter if you use the blue one or if you use the green stuff. It has to be the blue stuff, they say. But honestly, I've been using the green stuff too. It seems to be just fine. And what do I mean by the green stuff? Dawn comes in a couple of formulas. Andy says the green stuff doesn't work for dishes as good. So why did I buy the green stuff? Because that was what was available at Costco when we ran out. Yeah, so using a polishing compound just does the job, doesn't it? Look how shiny! You can't see that, I can see this. And when I do this, I always make sure that I clean my hands while I'm at it. Why not? Two-stepper. So shiny. Okay. So when you're using a compound, if you don't have a ultrasonic cleaner, then you'll have to go through this process of using using soap and water to clean it out. So the question is, would Zam be a good polish compound? Yeah, Zam is pretty much equivalent to Euroluster from everything that I've seen and understand. It seems to be the same stuff. It's considered a final polish, okay? All right, here we are. Now I'm just drying it really, really well. Actually, I think I'm going to do it this way because I want my tubes to be dry before I set anything. So I'm just taking a paper towel and sticking it in there. Just like so. Make sure it's nice and dry. I don't care about my gels. And it's nice and shiny now too, which is great because it'll give it the nice reflective value because we're going to put CZs in here. Okay. All right. Push everything aside. So here, if you notice, we have this back. I'm going to stick it off the side, or else if I pound on it, it's going to break it for sure. Chasing hammer and a burnished bezel set. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to go with, I think, a 6.5. So let's see, how do we fit? Looking for a fit. That seems good. Put it into the handle like so. So I don't know if you noticed, but one thing is for sure, this thing is dented slightly. Okay, this tube somewhere along the way got dented, so I am going to straighten it out before attempting to put my stone in, or shall we say Gail's stone, not my stone anymore. So just looking for something I can push it out with. Here we go. All right. Is. And what I really always like to do when I put the stone is I take the back of my tweezers and I make sure it's nice and level. Okay, you are not level. Let's try you again. Wow. Okay, so I have to pull this up to my eyes, sorry. So you want to look at it from the side and make sure that it is where you want it to be. Okay. Not playing nice. Let me see if I have some dental wax. Yeah. Dental wax. Dental wax is my friend. Some of you have beeswax. That works too. You can put it on the end of a dowel rod. That's helpful. And I'm going to put it in here like so. Better. Much better. Okay. And then we're going to put it over the top like that. And we're going to tap it to set it in place. I also like to burnish it like so to get it in. Oh, I think she's in. I think she's in. Okay, that's one. Let's see if I can switch cameras for you and show you the next one from the side. Okay. Oops. Move it here. So from the side, we'll put the next one in so you can see what I'm doing here. Just like that. Again, checking, make sure it's nice and level. And we lost Andy. Okay. And we'll choose another size. This was a 4mm, so we're going to go with, I think, the 5mm. No, I'm going to go with the 5.5mm burnisher. I like it to be a little bit bigger just to make sure it encompasses the sides. Nice like so. Give it a few taps. And you should see that the ends will come in to the stone. But you can see how I'm doing that from the side, like so, right? Just like so. Done. Let's do one more. The last one. What does it mean when one makes dents using the cup burnishing tool? So I think what the question is, so when you use these and you're not on it precisely, then you put little dents in it. So perhaps that's what they're talking about. Okay, so now we'll go with, this is a 3mm, we're gonna go with a 4mm. This I'm gonna move to the side here. Okay, so this one sort of slipped out. So I'm gonna pop it back in and check it. So someone's saying that sometimes the burnishers are not clean and smooth on the inside, and wait, go away. Wait. Sorry, my computer just all of a sudden and needs to be polishing. Really? I did not know that. So she's saying what Kathy's saying there is these burnishers sometimes on the inside, they just haven't been milled correctly and they need a little help. So if that truly is the case, what I would do is definitely use one of these silicone bullets and just clean it up on the inside with your flex shaft like so. So if that's what's causing the problem, then that's your answer. Okay. there's my piece. Let's switch cameras again. Hard to see in this light, but this is a lavender, I think it's a lavender piece. It has a slight tone to it. And there are my other stones. So finally, woohoo! Gail's piece is done. So Gail, I'll put this in the mail for you tomorrow, and along with that other thing I owe you. So if anybody out there is watching and you have a UFO and would like a little help, pick me up, send it out to me. Send me a picture. Let me make sure that I can something I can work with, and I will finish it up for you. So what's on the roster this week? Saturday, don't forget, we have the fidget ring on Zoom. And then next week, we're going to come back with on Monday, we will do another Makeover Monday. And I believe on Wednesday, we have another UFO. So next week, it's going to be, I think, a little bit more, shall I say, I'm going to be a little bit more nervous about it because I'm going to do something different. I know the premise of this piece. I haven't seen it. It's still in the envelope in which it was sent in, and I'm going to open it live while we are here, and we'll do a big reveal and totally work through it. But I think I can get that one done in one live session. We'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And anyway, so Virtually Ever Crafting, have a look, give us a minute. Join us on our Facebook page, on the Virtually Ever Crafting Facebook page, if you're looking for coupons or whatnot. I will post it there by the end of the week, the coupons. In the meantime, hopefully the weather has settled down for everybody. It is incredibly soupy outside here. Yeah, opened the door yesterday and it was just gross. So I won't be going out there, but I'm going to continue working and getting stuff together since we've been back from the trip. That said, have a great rest of the week, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. And we will see you on Monday, if not Saturday, for the Zoom. All right. Bye.